Colin! Sandeep, sorry man, I didn't see us come in. Sorry about that. I was still trying to set up. I was not even paying attention yet. How you guys doing? Hope this thing is plugged in. You can hear me. Yep, pretty soon, right? November, they're saying? Doing great, Colin. Hanging in, thank God. Yeah, I think they're saying like late November. I think I heard November 22nd or November 21st, something like that. Oh, probably because I've been talking all day today, man. It's just been one of them days. I had workers here at the house and stuff, so I had to use my voice a lot. Oh yeah, to workers around my house, man. Nah, I don't talk to the wife. Only kidding. No, not the wife, man. Oh, I can take... Do I got anything I can sell? Nope. Alright, let's see. And... 272,000 liters of manure. I better stop watching that, huh? No, my wife doesn't want to break up with me, silly. My wife loves me. I got it on fast forward time 15 times. It's the fastest I can get, let it go. I know. I'm only playing with you, Colin. No worries. Get some miles underneath my belt here today. I've driven almost halfway around the world on this map, Colin. Wow, holy crap. I thought I was doing good at 100. Yep, that's what I got, about 120 megabytes, maybe 112, somewhere around there. I call it welcome to the country. Just down. Up I get like 30. I know, right? And here's the weird thing. My Samsung phone won't record to YouTube anymore. I cannot figure out why. I can't make any videos on my phone. It won't make videos on YouTube. And I got a Samsung Galaxy 10. It's not like I'm way behind in technology. Well, I used to be able to make videos on my, with my phone and then upload them onto YouTube. I can't make videos on my phone for YouTube at all anymore. Never mind not live, I can't make them, period. But I can on my PS4, isn't that weird? I must have done something. I turned something off or something, man. I've been searching for a month now to figure out why. I cannot figure it out. I gotta feed these animals now. Yes, but it won't let me do that anymore. It won't let me, it doesn't show up. The thing to take video doesn't show up at all. It doesn't show where I can, well, I don't know, man. It doesn't even show where I can upload anything to YouTube. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't have the camera thing for YouTube or the upload for YouTube, neither. Yep, I'm on the most recent version. Yeah, I can do that. But where's the camera thing? I used to be able to just hit the camera thing and make the video directly to YouTube. And then upload it that way. Yes. Yeah, that's gone. You think they shut that down? Okay, so it's not my phone. It's YouTube that did that. Okay. Well, that explains a lot. I'll try it the other way. I'll do it tomorrow. Okay, if yours doesn't have it, then yours is newer than mine, then it must be YouTube did that. Yeah, that's... I don't need that. I don't need that. I can barely get my name out in 1 minute. In other words, I wouldn't be able to say and do anything in 1 minute. I think that's close enough to full. Wow. So what are you doing with your summer, Colin? That is a park in Australia, the way you spelt it. That's a water park in Australia. Pretty famous one at that. But I have nothing to do with them people. Yeah, yeah, it is. People go from all over the world to go to that water park. It's supposed to be pretty awesome. Like I said, I don't know who they are. I have nothing to do with them. Try it again. And I don't know of anything with that name that's religious. Like I said, I only know that one. It's a close spelling to what mine is. And then there's an Arabic guy that has the same spelling as me, or either has it with the E at the end. I can't remember. But outside of that, I don't know anybody else that uses that name in any aspect whatsoever at all. I should get some more straw. I figure 40,000 liters should be enough. How many cows do I have now? Yeah, not enough to sell, only 45 over. Did you find the water park I'm talking about? Wow, that's not even close to enough straw, really? Damn. I thought that would have been really close. Is a morning love song or a song or poem about love it has also been defined as a song or an instrument combination, huh? Sung by a departing lover, sleeping woman. Yeah, Wikipedia is weird. But if you look it up on YouTube, you'll find that it's a park. That should be close. Yeah, that's close. Okay. Yeah, check it out on YouTube, you'll see. Wikipedia is probably the worst place to look for definitions out of anything in the world. It's the worst dictionary or encyclopedia in the entire world, I guarantee you. They allow too much biasm in there. If you want true definitions, I would go to like the 1828 Webster Dictionary. That's probably the closest you're going to get to true definitions. The English language had a golden period that ended about 1780. And Webster's dictionary, the first one, is 1828. So even though it's after the golden period of the purest English language, you know, it's still close enough to where it's a lot purer than what the English language is today. It's like caught up. People say caught up a lot today. Like, I caught up to my chores. I caught up, you know, on my schoolwork. And that's not what caught up means. Caught up means caught up. You know, like you got captured, like you know, one of them claws going in and pulling out one of the stuffed toys out of a machine. That toy would be caught up. Or welcome. Welcome means you can come if you're well. You shouldn't say things like you're welcome at my, you know, like someone says thank you when you say you're welcome. Because what you're saying is if you're well, you can come. So it doesn't actually fit right. I honestly don't think I can fit another load in. Yeah, you didn't know that's what welcome means? No, that's literally what it means. If you're well, you can come. See, back in the day, they didn't have penicillin and stuff like that. So if somebody was sick and they went to somebody else's house, they could kill everybody in that house with a common flu or something like that. So they made a welcome mat. Yeah, that's the true meaning. They made a welcome mat, and the mat means if you're well, you can come. In other words, telling even family, if you're not well, don't knock at my door. Don't come in. Yeah. Look it up in the 1828 dictionary. That's exactly what it means. See, even before when I was a kid, I was born in 1966. So my penicillin was like 1950, 1953. You know, I think it was invented around 1950. But wasn't really given out predominantly until 1953. But anyhow, Penicillin's been around my whole life. So, you know, it would really take someone that's like 70 years old to 80 years old, probably closer to 80, to really remember the true meaning of what welcome means. But when you say you're welcome, it's just weird because you're not using it right. Oh, there's a whole bunch of words that don't mean the same thing anymore, Colin, that don't have the same ramifications. But like I said, the English was in the purest form, you know, probably up to about 1780. Then at about 1780, it started dropping off. And the English language was becoming slurred, to say the least. But we changed our font in 1769. So some people would argue that no, that it really started going downhill about 1750. That the real golden period is from like 1600 to about 1750 was the real golden period. But though the language was spoken better then, we had a different font. Like there was no J, and U sounded like an S. You know, I mean, you wouldn't understand the English language back then. And that's called Mid-English. And then Old English, you definitely wouldn't understand. It's almost like a different language than today. And that goes all the way back to King Richard. In King Richard's day, there was only about a dozen or so men that even spoke the English language anymore. And King Richard rescued the English language, or else it would have been lost then. I mean, think about it. There was only like between 12 and 20 people in the whole entire world that even spoke English. But that English that he spoke then, you would have a very hard time communicating with them. You just could communicate, but you just have a very difficult time doing so. Mainly because you've lost these and thous and thus and stuff like that, you know, and you would just say you, and they wouldn't say you, they would say thee, thou, or thus. There would be a lot of different things. And the reason they don't just say you is because if I say you, it could mean you individually, it could mean you as a group, it could mean you as the world. Yes, I do. But to say thee means one person, see? Or thee as a group, but thou is always one person. So if I would say, instead of you, I would say thou. This way I would know I was talking directly to you. But if I was talking to a whole classroom, I would say thee instead of you or you all. This way they knew that I was speaking to the entire classroom. If I was to say thus, then I would be speaking to, you know, something broader. Be it the world or be it the whole entire school. It would mean somebody outside the immediate area. So let's say we're talking in a classroom and I'm talking just to you, I would say thus. I would say thou. But if I was talking to the entire classroom, I would say thee. But if I was talking to the entire school, even though they weren't in that classroom directly, I would say thus. And that's what thee, thou, and thus work as. So when you go up to them and you say you, they wouldn't understand what you were saying. And there would be a lot of words you use they wouldn't know, like bling, ain't, you know, isn't. There would be a lot of words that you know today that they would not know what that word means. Skyrim has a cross of... They try to pretend like they speak in a medieval language, but they don't. Their language would be... really no period at all. Really, it's just a... It's a pig English, I would call it. Because there would be no time that they would really speak anything like that. And back in the day, like let's say Skyrim's in the 12th century, they would be speaking Latin or Greek or Hebrew or Arabic. Like I said, back in that period, there was only a handful of people in the world that even spoke English. And that includes in England. England was primarily Latin speaking. Then you have your Germanic tribe that was speaking German, and your Frank tribe that was speaking French. But England almost completely lost their language. Almost completely lost it. And that King Richard that I'm talking about is King Richard the Lionheart. Which, if you look up some documentaries, they'll be incorrect and say King Richard had no sons and no children. That's incorrect. King Richard's son was Robin Hood. That was his son. And that's why they erased that. They try to erase that from the record. Because when King Richard died, his son didn't take over the throne. His brother John did. So because John took over the throne, he tried to erase Robin Hood's record. Latin is not English. Latin is its own completely different language. And again, you can understand Latin today, but there's still Middle Latin and Old Latin. Like a man could speak perfect Latin today and barely understand Middle Latin and have zero understanding of Old Latin. Latin's gone through dramatic changes. Middle Latin and Old Latin are two completely different languages, and modern Latin is a completely different language. They're so far separated now that the only ones that speak Middle Latin are pharmacists, doctors, bishops, and cardinals, and some priests. The only ones that speak Old Latin are bishops and cardinals, period. That's it. So Old Latin is almost a dead language. There might be maybe 100, 200 people in the whole entire world that speak Old Latin. It's almost completely dead. Now when you get your prescriptions and you don't understand what that medical term means, like, you know, because it's written in a Latin language, that's Middle Latin. And Middle Latin is where all your prescription languages and everything come from. It's so you don't know, you know, like that an aspirin is just red bark. It's red oak bark, you know, and they don't want you to know that, so they write it in Middle Latin so you can't, whoops, why am I going there? So you can't figure out how to make it yourself. And even in Middle Latin, I doubt seriously there's more than 10,000 people in the entire world that speak Middle Latin. Oh, aspirin? Aspirin is red oak. Red oak bark. That's what it's made from. And if you read on the back of the label, you'll find out that one of them Middle Latin words means red oak bark. But with Latin, alright, like, I can explain a little bit of Latin so you can get some knowledge of it. Alright, like, theist is a god. Like, if I was to say theist, that's God. To say atheist, or put A in front of anything in Latin means no. So anytime you see a Latin word with A in the beginning, it means no. Alright, so atheist means no God. But it's not a definite, like a lot of words in English are not a definite. You know, but it's a likelihood. It's like, you know how to go to church and you hear people say, Amen. And they're all like holy at the end of the song saying amen and think that they're talking directly to God, you know, like it's some kind of prayer or something like that. All that amen means is so be it. That's what you're saying. So when you say amen, you're just saying so be it. That's why I laugh every time I hear one of them songs and in the end they get all like holy like saying amen. It's hilarious. So be it. But Latin's a complicated language, but it's not as hard to learn as English. You could, at your age, Colin, you could learn Latin in a year. You could learn enough about Latin. There's a lot of words in the English language that are Latin words. You could probably learn Latin and be proficient in it in 1 year's time. It'd be easier to learn Latin than it would be to learn Spanish. Latin and Greek are very easy languages. Now, I'm not going to say in 1 year's time you'll be writing as a scribe, but you could get enough of it where you could, get by. Oh, smashed right into it. That's it. I got fired. Yeah, you could learn Latin pretty quick, bro. But like I said, there's 3 different Latins. There's modern Latin, mid Latin, and old Latin. And if I was going to learn any of them, well, you'll never be able to learn old Latin. Because I just don't even know if they teach old Latin anymore. I think that you would have to go to a Jesuit college and get special permission to learn old Latin. But if I was going to learn any Latin to be useful in this life, I would learn mid-Latin. The Catholic Church guards it. Their bishops and cardinals use it, yes. It's kind of like a secret language, yes. They guard it so that people don't learn it. If you learned Mid-Latin and then got some manuscripts on Old Latin, you could probably teach yourself Old Latin from it. But if you learned Modern Latin and got a manuscripts of Old Latin, you would never understand it. You may as well be speaking Greek. What the heck's going on here? Did I strap that down? I did. Alright. I don't know what words to tell you, Colin. If you ask me about words, I might be able to tell you some words' definition that's not used today in a proper definition. But it's the numerous amount of words, man. Does because have one? You lost me. Oh, because is because different? That would kind of be a yes and a no. I don't think you would find the word because. I'm trying to think in Mid-English if they had because. It would probably be pretty close to the same meaning, bro. But again, it would have to have a cause. Without a cause, the word wouldn't be used properly, but most of the time when people use the word today, there's a cause behind it. Oh, here's one. Mean what? You don't mean anything. When somebody says that, when you don't mean anything, people don't look at that statement right anymore. Like they mean, you know, what it means is like, let's say I tell you that I'm going to come to your house at 10 o'clock, but then I don't show up at all. And then I tell you, you know, I'm going to show up at your house at this time and I don't show up. You know, and then I tell you, well, I'm going to give you this, but I never give it to you. That would mean that I don't mean anything. It means whatever I say, I don't mean it. And people use it today like the person is a lesser of a person because of that. Like they say, like, you don't mean anything. Like you have no value. And that's not what that means. What that means is you don't just what it says. You don't mean anything. What you say has no value. Not that your person has no value. Yeah, that's not what it means. It just means what you say has no value. You don't mean anything. And then other words aren't used right today, like pervert. You know, today that would reflect someone that automatically is a sexual deviant. And that's not what that means. To pervert something means to use it in a way that it's not meant to be used. Like, for instance, you know, if I use a fish hook, I don't know, to create an electrical outlet, I'm perverting the fishing hook. Gay means happy, you know, I mean, a lot of meanings have been lost, bro. A lot of meanings have been lost. Almost nothing that you speak today would be proper in mid-English or in the golden years of English. Same as invert, kinda. Yes, that would be accurate. Alright, I'm ready to harvest. I don't know why I just shut it off. This is the first time harvesting this field. I just created these two, well, I didn't create them, I just cut these two fields in half. I was using them for grass. I have no idea how much I'm going to yield out of this. I imagine it's going to be a lot. I did not. I forgot all about it, Colin. I apologize, man. I might be able to sell this stuff right away. Let's see. I should have put more straw in. That's okay. Let's see. Yes, I can sell a first. I can sell the first two. One to Valley Grains and one to Small Farm. So I can get rid of 140,000 liters instantly. We don't even know if this field's gonna work right. Like I said, it's the first time I'm trying it. I cut it in half. I'm hoping I left enough distance. My coffee cup. I got myself coffee before I started streaming. I'm getting smarter. Ooh, I'm gonna have 25 million in 3.5 hours of game time. Probably about the time I'm done harvesting and sowing this field. Nope, it's, well, it's iced now. I did let it get cold. Purple, that's perfect. That's what I want. And it doesn't need plowing. Perfect. And it looks like I can pick it up down the other end. Well, as long as I'm not over 7, yeah, I can't. 7,200 liters. I'm just a little bit too long. They say there's 2 rules of talking to yourself. One if you have money in the bank, or one if you're nuts. Recently, they've discovered that's probably not true. Caleb, what's going on, man? Sitting here chatting with Colin. Say hi to Colin, man. Oops. That's pretty close. That's not bad. Let's see here. Follow it halfway down. And it should be good to pick up the load back up to the top again. I know, right? So don't I, my friend. So don't I. How's it look? Their cinematic trailers don't matter. No one's cinematic trailers matter. They don't really reflect what the game's gonna look like. No. But some words didn't exist, like, let me think of some common words. Jumbo didn't exist. Dinosaur didn't exist. Homosexual didn't exist. Matter of fact, outside of maybe Homo sapien, none of them homo words meant had any were words back then. And I'm not even sure Homo sapien was. I don't think it was. I think that was invented in the turn of the 1890s or something like that. Oh, I should have went backwards. Jeez. Yep, look at that, one backwards. Perfect, right? Well, I hope I get at least 2 tractor loads out of this. I mean, it looks pretty big. Looks like I will. Well, that's cool. So Seasons is right in it. It's not, you have to disable it if you don't want it. That's cool. I hope the maps are bigger. I mean, the biggest lot that I know of in all of Farming Simulator is only like 138 acres or something like that. All these farms are small. The average farmland in Alabama is 226 acres. You know, I mean, these are small. I am not buying PS5, bro. I'm not doing it. Yeah, I'm certainly not going to buy a PS5 for one game, man. We had a long discussion about that a couple nights ago. Who, me and you? I don't remember that discussion. I'm getting old though. I mean, I could have discussed anything and not remember. Look, PS4. There's only a couple games that I like on the whole PS4 platform, man. I mean, in all honesty, I shouldn't have bought the PS4. All bad. I like 24-hour time more than 12 hours. Well, you mean military time. Is that what you're thinking about, military time? Oh, yeah, Sony, alright. I liked Sony a lot better back when Howard Stringer was around. It seemed like Sony was a lot more interested in their clients and hearing us out and helping developers and helping gaming along. And nowadays I just kind of feel like Sony doesn't give a crap about us. But that could just be my perception, man. But they're not doing E3 anymore. They are not coming up with new innovative games. Everything's like a rerun of something else, like Spider-Man, and all these other games are just remakes of old hash crap, you know, and they're not offering as much as PC offers, you know. There's just, and I really feel like, without offending anybody, hopefully, I really feel like having this PS4 or PS5, if Sony comes out with a new movie, I should be able to download that movie onto my PS4 or PS5 rather than have to go to theater and see it. You know, even on brand new releases and stuff like that, I just think like, and I don't think Sony's doing enough to promote community. I think that's one of the big driving forces that's going to drive Sony out of business with gaming, is they're not doing enough to promote community. They're doing everything they can to kill community. And I understand their reasoning behind it because it's really hard to police, you know, and some people out there are just crude, you know, and stuff like that, but that's just something you got to deal with in success. You know, if you want to be successful at something, you can't give up on it because it's too hard. You got to figure out a way to make it work because it is hard. But heck, that's just me. Maybe I'm an idiot. I don't know. I'm going to assume that all these people are smarter than I am. So once we assume that, we're in pretty good shape. If you want to see where I think gaming is going, there's a new game getting ready to come out, probably less than a year. And I don't know if it'll be successful or if it'll fail, but it's the way gaming is going to go, and it's called Earth 2. And you can look it up on the internet right now and see what I'm talking about. Earth with the number 2. And that's the way gaming's going to be in a couple years. It's not going to be like what you're seeing now. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff is just going to PC because console is handcuffing the developers. This is not the developer's fault. This is the console's fault. And I understand why Xbox is doing it because they make PC and they make Windows. I don't understand why Sony is doing it. Yes, they make PCs, but they don't have any sales. They're being crushed by Microsoft in sales on computers and stuff. But where Sony is crushing them in the gaming world. And I don't understand why they're abandoning what they've got. I'm confused by that. But like I said, who am I? I'm gonna just assume they're smarter than I am and watch their ship burn in the middle of the ocean and then sink. I tried explaining this to some friends that I had, and all it did was cost me all my friends. But even these games that you're playing now on PC are all old school. There's a new type of gaming coming, and if you look, I should grab a little bit more of that. If you look at Earth 2, you'll see what the future of gaming is going to look like. Absolutely not. Yeah, Earth 2. Absolutely not, Caleb. Man, if that ever happened, it would just get worse. They would care even less about us. Now, if you guys are there and you look up Earth 2, you know what I mean, make sure you read what it's about. You know, and like I said, I don't know if this particular game is going to be successful or not, but I can see the writing is on the wall for this is where we're going. I don't know what LTM means. I'm old, man. Abbreviations each. We used to have a thing for LOL, laughing out loud. It was H-A-H-A and it meant ha ha. Caleb, all gaming is gonna be going mobile. Almost everything gaming is gonna go mobile. It's not gonna go PC. And I'll tell you why. Mobile has 90% saturation in the market. 9 out of 10 people in this entire world, including in Tibet, have a mobile phone. That blows away laptop, computer, and console combined. Gaming will go where the largest market is. And because of clouds now, they don't have to have PC anymore. PCs, and it's throwing death throws as well. I recommended to Sony in 2012, I believe it was, that they buy a telephone company like AT&T or something and start working towards the idea of, you know, smartphones, you know, controlling a larger market of smartphones, because that's the way of the future for gaming, man. It's the way of the future for everything. I mean, that whole PC thing with the cloud work right now, you're going to be able to do more on your smartphone than you could do on PC right now. Look, do you want to sell, when you make a product, do you want to sell to 10% of the market, or do you want to be able to sell to 90%? You want to be able to sell to 90%. See what I'm saying? But I would read a little bit more about Earth 2 is, rather than just look at it in the picture. And this will give you an idea of where gaming is going. And like I said, I don't know if Earth 2 itself will be successful. I'm kind of thinking that I'm on the edge with it. There's certain things that tell me yes it will, and there's certain things that tell me no it won't. One of the things that tells me no it won't is I think that they made their lots too small. In other words, for that game to work properly, I think that you would need 500 million people playing it. And I don't see where they're going to get 500 million people playing the game. But if they made their lots like 5 times larger, and they could control it with 100 million people playing, I think that the game would be successful. Well, you can't sell it to both to get 100% because it doesn't work that way. The 10% of the people that don't have a smartphone don't have any electronics at all. In other words, there's a lot of people in this world that the only electronics they have is a smartphone. They don't have a tablet, they don't have a laptop, they don't have a PC, they don't have a console, but they have a smartphone. And all these people that you see in front of, you know, in front of their little thing, and they got 3 different computers working, and all of them are $5,000 to $10,000 a piece, and they got 3 monitors or 4 monitors working. That's all going to be outdated in a couple of years. As the cloud service gets better and better, these things aren't going to need it. And that's the reason why I haven't invested a couple $1,000s into a PC yet. And why I did invest $1,000 into a phone. Yay! This field's working out good. So far, no problem. Now, even though I want to sell this grain, I'm going to take it up there and see if my grain thing is working right. Just dropping by for a while. I gotta get rest and I didn't enjoy the rest of the night. You too, Caleb. God bless, man. Don't invest a lot of money in a computer these days. Wait. Wait. The cloud service is about to get much better when real 5G comes out. By the way, there's no such thing as real 5G yet and won't be till the earliest November. And you'll know it's real 5G when you can download a movie, a full 2-hour movie in 6.5 seconds. Then you'll know you have real 5G. But as soon as real 5G comes out, that's right away computers and console are going to start going down the drain, and your gaming is going to increase in your smartphone. And I suspect it'll take a year or two before a lot of these games come out that are way more developed than what you've got here. There's a new generation of gaming coming, boys. Get ready for it, because it's exciting and it's big. It's big, man. It's big. It's big. Oh, this is not the right kind of grain. I gotta sell this and buy a different one. That is not too bright. I bought the wrong one. Where's my silos? There they are. Uh-oh. Which one is it? Probably one worth the most, right? 92? Yep. Sell. Boy, that was a big loss of money. That's the one I wanted to build. block that road. Well, actually, why not? Well, it's because it's going to be in the middle of the trees. That's going to be hard to deal with. Wish I could back off from this a little bit so I could see a little bit better. That's the furthest I can back off. I hope that's a good spot. I don't like how the trees are there, but there's nothing I can do about it. Oh, everyone left. What a bummer. I guess that's the end of this stream. Ba, 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 ba. Save and quit.